to keep your calories low and your protein super high is not possible without a protein powder if you're vegan. If you go to this guy, he's actually a person that used to study the Vedas a lot. His name is Nimai. He's a professional bodybuilder. Amazing. Raised in the Vedic culture, big and lean and everything. He eats huge amounts of calories though. He's like maybe in his early 30s and he's super active and he's really lean. So he eats like 3,500 or 4,000 or 4,500 calories. So he still gets his like maybe 200 grams to maybe, I don't know. He doesn't put a ton of protein in. It's still pretty good, but it's easy to get away with that from like legumes and beans and he might have like one protein shake. But for me, that's doing low calorie. Like sometimes I do 1,700 calories. 1,300 of my calories will be protein.
Yeah.
The rest of it's just a few berries and some salad.
Yeah.
So I get all my micronutrients and my fibers, and then I get my healthy fats from olives, coconut, and avocado. That's pretty much it. A little bit of fat from some of the other stuff, maybe some hemp seeds, a little bit chia seeds. I mix it up a little bit, but main thing is just the protein. And what I noticed is that my energy is incredible. My sugars are really low. I'm building the muscle. I mean, every week I build a little bit of muscle. I'm a little bit bigger. You know, I'm like maybe 1/4 pound of muscle or 1/8 of a pound per week, which is really great development. I'm getting stronger in the gym. Everything's just running smoothly. Yeah. So this worked for sure for someone that's, you know, close to vegan. The only thing I do is just that whey protein, and I could do a plant-based one and mostly raw as well. So, but for regular people that eat meat and all these different things, there's so many sources that they can go to. Yeah. Just packed with tons and tons of protein. So it's actually really easy for them.
I see.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That was great. I mean, the protein thing is super interesting.
Yeah. That's a big one right now in the science. You know, a lot of the scientists are out there that are just constantly adding just data to this. Yeah. And some doctors are just specifically like protein-centered doctors, and they will use terms like under-muscled. You know, you're under-muscled. It's a major problem. The muscles take in glucose, so they're called a glucose sink. So when a lot of glucose is flowing through the bloodstream because you had too much sugar, or, you know, that muscle will help you do that. Also, it's just functional. Also, people like the way it looks. So there's a lot of benefits to it.
Different proteins develop muscles differently.
They do.
What kind of variety of? Because I'm sure protein. I mean, it's such a broad term. It's almost like calorie. Is it?
Yeah.
There's got to be a lot of different types of protein. Yeah.
That's another thing where it'd be good to just get a little educated. It doesn't take that much time though. People always like throw stuff in the bucket of, oh, that's too hard. No, it's not too hard. What you think is hard is not hard. That's another thing that I am starting to jump on the bandwagon of. Quit having these limiting beliefs. What's hard is climbing to Mount Everest. There's only 1,000 people in the history of the world, I think, that ever did it. I've like 20 billion over the past like 5,000 years or whatever, how many billion it was, right? Think about what's hard. Dude, go down and just put on one YouTube that's like 7 minutes long. It'll give you a breakdown of all the different amino acids and how much you need and what's in what. So the main thing is that you don't really build muscle unless you get 2 grams of leucine. This is the interesting thing. There's science specifically on the amino acid leucine. So if you look at protein, you'll look on a protein powder label or just, you know, Google something and you'll see all the amino acid contents. The highest quality protein is going to have the ones that have the really high leucine. So the whey protein has tons of leucine. Pea protein concentrate and some of these other hemp proteins, they have some pretty good amount of leucine. And then a lot of the meats have a lot of leucine. So if you're going to be going for like tofu, or there's even protein in berries, super low quality in the sense of building muscle though. It's not that it's low quality protein, because there's no such thing as low quality protein. People say low quality protein just in the sense of it's not easy for you to build muscle with that protein.
So when you're thinking of protein, everything's got protein in it, like you said, pretty much.
I think everything actually has at least a little teeny bit. Every protein. Single food on the planet.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're always getting protein if you're eating pretty much anything, unless it's like some, you know, piece of plastic.
Yeah.
But if it's like whey, so leucine is that characteristic or property of protein that is more direct for muscle building. Like the muscles take that on.
It's actually a signal, which is interesting.
It's a signal.
It's a signal. Yeah.
So leucine is a signal?
Yeah. So these are molecles.
So leucine, they can judge how many leucine molecules are in certain types of protein.
Exactly. So the muscle will be, this body is so much more intelligent than a lot of people think. right? A lot of people don't know how complicated it is when you go in the sun and the photons hit the skin, what's actually happening.
Yeah.
Trillions of unbelievably complicated things are happening just from that. From breathing, from seeing, from hearing, from eating, water, unbelievable. Like I couldn't even describe 1,000th of 1% of all the things that are actually happening. And we don't even know all the things that are happening. So somehow or other, because I'm not educated enough, once you hit 2 grams of leucine in any, they call it a bolus of food, like just an amount of food, that tells the muscle grow. And if you don't hit 2, the muscle's like, eh.
Interesting.
So that's the way it goes.
Wow.
And I guess if you look back into the past, it's like, someone hunted an animal and you had to build up the muscle to gain more strength and power. Then they would eat that, or they might be able to eat enough plants to be able to get it to the point, and then it would grow.